Jessica, what would you say Callyn taught you that is one of the most sustainable things that you'll be able to do?
To love myself. I, I think that was, now I'm gonna cry. I think that's been the biggest thing is she just taught me how to believe in myself and put myself first. I'm Jessica Chapman. I'm 40 years old. I'm a wife, a mom, and instructor and academic advisor at Purdue University, and I live in Rensselaer, Indiana. My lifestyle before working with Callyn, I just saw myself as a busy mom, and that was kind of the title that I wore, and I thought it was a good thing to just be busy, but I wasn't doing things for myself, and I didn't realize that until I started working with her. And what I mean by that is just, oh, my daughter had practice, we'll just pick up dinner on the way or coming back from practice. I never took the time to meal prep ahead of time and to realize, oh, I can meal prep and it's even better than eating out because I'm controlling everything. And I just pop it in the microwave and it's saving me time and money instead of going through all the drive-thrus and things that we had been going through and feeding her before that and things that I was eating. And I tried Weight Watchers, I did Whole30 twice. I did some other programs where I was counting calories, low carb, keto, all of that. I would lose weight, but then I would still have some other things happening where I wasn't feeling great. So I had gut issues where I was feeling bloated. I just felt like I was retaining water and weight in certain areas. I was feeling very tired. I would come home from work and just want to take a nap. And I thought, well, wouldn't losing weight make me want to be more active and do more things? But my body was not into that. And then I watched stories on Instagram from Melissa Rodibaugh and saw all these things that she was doing with Callyn. She was doing all these different things and kind of teasing that she was gonna had this bigger things coming, and all of her gut issues and different things had gotten kind of cleared up by working with Callyn. And then when she was a spring challenge winner, I was like, wow, if she can do this for 3 months, what can I do for 3 months? And how can I feel better after 3 months of working with Callyn? I think the moment that really pushed me was realizing how much effort my own daughter, who's only 10, was putting into all the activities that she's in. She spends around 4 hours a week focused on dance and another 6 hours a week focused on her swim. That's not counting any time that she's on stage or in the pool at a competition or an event. That was just her practice time. And if she was spending that much time just practicing because she was trying to be better at something, as her mom, I just wanted to show her that I could put in that time too and be better at something as well and be there for her future swim events and dance events and all of those moments too. So for me, that was the moment where I'm like, if I can't show up for myself, how can I show up for my kid in the future? And how can I keep being her role model when she's doing all of these things that I'm not willing to do for myself? I didn't realize how much certain foods were affecting my moods, and especially around a certain time of the month when it was my period and I was craving chocolates and carbs and sugar and thinking that it's okay because it's just this time of month and I can do that. I didn't realize how much it was making me feel depressed and sad and anxious until I cut those foods out and realized that I wasn't craving them anymore after I did cut them out, and how much better I do feel now when it is that time of the month. I hardly notice. My family hardly notices at all because I'm not having those mood swings like I had before when I was eating those different foods. The thing that made it different from other programs I've tried was how individualized it was. I had mentioned that I've done Weight Watchers before, and during those you have a weekly weigh-in where you would go weigh on a scale, someone would see it, hold you accountable, and then you moved on or you stayed for the meeting. That works for a little bit, but there was no personalization. The person checking my weight didn't know who I was. They were just there to write down that number. But with Callyn, I was taking those before pictures or taking the progress pictures, sending them to her the morning of our check-in. Then I'd actually get a call with her for a whole 30 minutes to tell her, this is how my week went, if I traveled, if I was on my period and had different things that I was dealing with, if life was happening and I was feeling stressed and how food affected me that week. And then she was able to, just from those pictures and from the conversation, have more meaningful insight to give me than just had I attended a meeting for a mass audience. And it wasn't just her saying, this is what you're going to do. It was her saying, let's look at your own body first, figure out what your sensitivities are, what are causing some of these issues, and then work with you to figure out, okay, now that we've identified those, what does that look like in terms of your meal prep? And how can we help you make sure you're eating at the best to get rid of those gut issues, all that discomfort, the fatigue, so you can be your best self. When I started working with Callyn, she had just started her summer challenge, and I was like, okay, I know someone who wanted the spring challenge, so maybe this is something I can do as well. So my goal was just to follow everything Callyn said, follow the workouts, the meal plan, even the sleep schedule, making sure all of those things were happening behind the scenes as well as just keeping up with the nutrition. I was actually waiting on Instagram when Callyn was announcing the top 10, and I kept refreshing my phone to see who the top 10 were. My daughter was right there with me, and we were kind of like, I probably didn't get it. I don't know, did I not? And then one by one, the different challengers, the top 10 kept being posted. And then finally, I heard a song that came on and saw my, face on Instagram and saw the pictures of me, and it was like, oh my gosh, I made the top 10. And my daughter was right there with me like, Mom, you made the top 10. Like, it was a really cool moment to share with my daughter too, to show her that I stuck with this commitment for the 3 months, and this is how I got rewarded for it. In addition to the 3 months challenge and trying to be the winner of the summer challenge, I also scheduled a photo shoot for my 40th birthday. And that was something I had never thought to do before. Callyn recommended photo shoots, and I was like, why do I need photos of myself? I take enough selfies and that sort of thing. And then I started looking into it, and I found someone who specializes in these 40 over 40 photo shoots. And so I signed up with her, turned that into our family vacation, traveling to Virginia to do this photo shoot. And just through that process alone, just realizing that I was taking the time for myself, I was making sure I had certain outfits to wear and working with this photographer, that alone was just so cool already. But throughout that time, knowing that I had Melissa and Callyn on my side, anytime I had an insecurity or had a question, I could reach out to them during our one-on-ones or send an email, or especially through Instagram, anytime I would post something, they would hype me up on there, repost it, or send me a question to ask something about like the food I posted or something I was going through. And then leading up to that day, I was very nervous to do this photo shoot and had second thoughts about, I'm 40 years old, like I should be doing photo shoots with my family, or I should be spending this money and time on my daughter or doing something else. So I felt very selfish for a while that I was taking the time to do this for myself. And then the day of my photo shoot, I just felt like a princess is the best way to describe it. And it was all about me for a few hours. And I remember the reaction when the photographer showed me the first picture. I was like, is that me? I just could not believe that it was me. And it wasn't just because I had my hair and makeup done that day. It was just the confidence coming from me after working with the dream team of Callyn and Melissa, that I knew I had accomplished something, and here was my time to shine and to show the world who I was and who I was becoming. Something else I didn't realize was that it wasn't selfish of me to take an hour, hour and a half every morning to go to the gym. But there was a lot that I had to overcome before I could even start going to the gym. When she sent me the first workout plan, I didn't know half the things on there. I had to literally look them up and say, what is a, whatever the different types of workout was. I had to watch videos on how people were doing it. And then I had to get the courage to actually go and join a gym. Sounds simple enough, but in my head, I'm like, I'm not a fit person. I'm not an athlete. I don't deserve to be in the gym. I don't fit what people think of when someone says they're gonna go work out or they work out every day. My image of myself in my mind didn't match that. And so I even had to get a little bit of a pep talk from Callyn and Melissa before I could even join the gym. And then when I got there, I was like, well, now what am I doing? And I remember sitting on some of the machines some days and literally watching videos of how to use the machine I was sitting on because I didn't know how to do it. And I was going during the day and early in the morning when none of the other employees were there. So there was never a trainer or someone to show me how to do it. So for me, it was all about realizing that everyone's at the gym for themselves. No one is looking at me the way I'm looking at me. And I just didn't want to feel silly if I got on a machine and used it the wrong way, or didn't put enough weight on, or didn't know how to change the weights, or something as simple as that. And it took me several weeks to realize no one else is watching me. I'm the only one that cares what I look like, what I'm doing at the gym. And just the more I went and showed up for myself, the more confident and comfortable I became in realizing I'm doing this for me. Literally no one else here even knows that I'm here in the gym right now. They're doing their own thing as well. I have never been an athlete in my own terms. When I was in high school, I did everything but athletics. And I think working with Callyn has taught me that that's just some label that I put on myself. And there are ways for me to be an athlete, even though I'm 40 now and thought like, oh, this is over for me. So during COVID, I really got into biking and just something I really enjoy that I had never done before. And so now I'm looking at how can I set a goal of completing a longer like bike ride, being a part of an event or a race, but making it fun. I'm trying to find a place where I can travel to so that there's some incentive to like, okay, I'm going to do this 50-mile bike ride or more, but let's make it something fun where I can travel to and do something. So that's one of the goals I'm working on Callyn with, but working on like, okay, what does that actually look like if I've never done that before? I've never competed in any type of race or bike event before. So where do I even start? And then how do I reach that goal? So another goal that I have, a big scary goal, but I guess goals should make you feel a little nervous, is to compete in a bodybuilding competition. I have never even worn a two-piece swimsuit since I was a kid, but I want to get on stage in a sparkly bikini to show off my body and my transformation. I've discovered this bodybuilding competition that has a transformation category, and during that you get to actually share your story of what was your transformation over the past 1 to 3 years. And for me, it would be weight loss and getting into health and fitness. And you get to share that story while you're on stage, showing off all your hard work. And to see Melissa go through her first competition and the confidence that she gained from that, and the feeling that I just knew how she was feeling of that sense of accomplishment, I want that for myself. And again, setting those goals so that my daughter and others are seeing that you can set those big, scary goals and accomplish them. And watching her encourage me and my goals has made me realize how much she does look up to me. And watching her just change the kind of snacks that she would go for after watching me and what I was eating, and then having these goals, and now she's setting her own goals within her own like swim career and with dance and everything. So realizing that just me living my life was being an example to my own daughter. I think now my non-negotiables are, I know what foods fuel me and give me the right energy that I need. And now, for example, when we have a staff luncheon in my office, sometimes, it used to just be everyone bring something in and we'll just all kind of eat whatever. And I'm like, nope, I will bring something in so that others can enjoy it, but I'm still going to eat my meal that I prepped over the weekend and throw it in the microwave, and I'll still join you, but I'm not going to eat all of the different things that everyone else brought in. And that was hard for me because I'm an includer. I like to be included. I like to be social. And I had to just realize, I can still be part of this, but I'm going to eat my own food and I'm going to do it on my terms, but I can still be part of that office and that atmosphere there as well. My biggest goal was strictly to lose weight and to hit a certain number on a scale so that I would be a certain size. I had this image in my head of like, I need to weigh this much or be this clothing size. And after working with her for just a month and the amount of energy that I had and just feeling better overall in terms of the no gut issues, the no fatigue, all these different things. I realized I wasn't so obsessed with hitting a certain number. It was more about how am I feeling? How am I moving my body now in different ways that I hadn't before? And after my 3 months with her, I was down overall at least one size. In tops, I was down about 2 sizes. So I really got to go shopping, and just being able to go into a fitting room and just have that confidence of trying things on and how they looked on me and how they made me feel was huge too. So yes, I still want to lose weight and keep working towards certain things, but I'm not as focused on that now as how my body's feeling and what it's telling me and how I'm able to just do more things with my body. The 3 words I would describe going through this whole experience and working with Callyn and Melissa would be empowering, sassy, and role model. Empowering because that's what they made me feel, was empowered, like realizing all that I have to offer and all that I can bring to the table. Sassy, I know that one sounds a little weird, but it's always been a way that people have described my personality, but I don't think I really saw it until working with them and how confident and sassy I could be, and that's just who I am, but now it's amped up a little bit more. And then role model, they were role models for me, but during this experience and during my own transformation, I'm realizing that I'm also becoming a role model for others around me in my inner circle and those that I just have met through Instagram or even in a grocery store, just anytime I can share my story, realizing the impact I can have on other people. I think the way I looked at myself before was just not really looking at Jessica. It was all the different titles that I wear. You know, I'm an employee at a university, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, and just thinking of all those like stereotypical things you think of when you hear those types of titles, like that's who I had to be. And it wasn't until after working with Callyn that I realized that I could just be Jessica and still be all of those things and hold all those titles. But being Jessica meant being authentic, showing up for myself, and putting myself first so that I could continue to give to others.